All right, now welcome to our section here on, and I'm titling it today "Sustainable Community." You know, the heart of our outcome-based approach in Lebanon is being a sustainable community. And I thought sometimes we feel a little bit, where is Lebanon at, and what are benchmarks we measure Lebanon against. I belong to the International City Managers Association and been active in that association and acting in a group of city managers across the United States who are studying the sustainable communities and how communities can reach toward that preferred future. And so this fits within the policy leadership of Lebanon from the City Council, asking that we move toward ever greater effort at being a sustainable community. So I thought I'd share today in the June issue, for this June, they did a rather amazing thing. I had not seen it before, but the International City Managers Association's newsletter devoted the entire newsletter to being a sustainable community. And so I thought I'd just share a few pieces from it and reflect on it with regard to the Lebanon ongoing experience. First, I think at the beginning, there's a collective understanding among city managers in the world that the best practice for the way to go is to become sustainable communities. And when they do it definitionally, this is an evolutionary process. It's a kind of incremental process. And there's been some criticism of sustainability, but I think that this criticism has always been when someone reaches too much of an extreme point of view from one end of the spectrum to the other. Sustainability is right down the middle. And what collectively we've decided sustainability is the ability of communities to consistently thrive over time as they make decisions to improve the community today without sacrificing the future. This is kind of really a wonderful thing to think about communities that we need to thrive. We have to have a thriving community. We can't have a community never stand still. But when we make our decisions, we're always out to improve our community as it thrives today, but always looking to not sacrificing the future. In looking at that concept, it's referred to as it can be associated with the environment. Sometimes it often is, but it's very much broader than that. Communities need clean air and water and jobs that pay a living wage, and a social compact in which people of all religions, political persuasions, races, age groups, that we all live together, and that we work together, and we do this safely. And the outcomes that we're looking at in terms of Lebanon is very much along those lines: excellence in planning and public safety, to be a safe and secure community. To be physically sound and be good stewards of our resources, to look after ourselves and our families and make sure everyone is self-sustaining, and to have economic vitality in our community. So what we have expressed ourselves in symbols are very much right down the heart of what this is all about. In sustainability, from city managers' perspective across the world, there's some ethical underpinnings to it, and I think that the ethical underpinnings, I think that an ethical life is a good life, and that in doing our sustainable communities, ethics and civility is of the highest value. And the code that governs city managers such as myself talk very clearly that we have to have a firm belief in the dignity and worth of the services rendered by the government, i.e. Lebanon city government. And we must have a deep sense of our own social responsibility as a trusted public servant for the residents of Lebanon. That's our ethical obligation. And we must act so the community and society at large benefit. And when defining sustainability in our community, success at that isn't just meeting the needs of one segment of the community at the expense of another segment. So there can't be a sustainable community of winners and losers. That's not where it's at. We have to be a community of togetherness. But we can't be a community where we find short success and short-term gains at the expense of long-term losses. And that we have to have these long-term accomplishments. Building communities that will last and meet the needs of future generations requires a commitment to social responsibility. In the ethics and philosophy for this, city managers across the world have looked at going back to Greece and some of the values that have been earliest espoused. One of the common things in some of the events that I've gone to nationally, and actually it's globally because it's a big cross section across the world of managers, and it often cites that the Greeks gave the Athenian code that prompts us to leave our communities in better shape than we found them. And that requires us in these communities, in our community like Lebanon, to think beyond tomorrow and not worry about who gets credit. I mean, we need to give away power, not keep power. We need to give away control, not keep control. We need to engage, and we need to have conversations. In the Greek proverb that shows up in the communications was that I like best was, a society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they know they shall never sit. In a beautiful tree city like Lebanon, where trees are so important to us, that when we plant these trees, that we may never sit under them, but we need to do that. And that's when we grow the city. We may never see all the results of it ourselves, but it will be others that will benefit from a sustainable community. Some of my colleagues have given a different viewpoints. A Sarasota manager in Florida, he thinks that a sustainable community demonstrates through policy and practices a long-term view and respect for people and for place. Place is very important. We have to identify our places, and our place-making directions have to be pursued. And in Lebanon, our places can vary from our connectivity between the place of downtown Lebanon, the historic area there, to West Lebanon and along Mechanic Street, these places being connected. We can think about our places with regard to the 120 corridor and what those places should look like. We could think in our local neighborhoods in and around Lebanon and West Lebanon. And we could think about, how do you make a place out of 12A, which everyone kind of, lately we've experienced so much, basically difficulty as improvements are being made in 12A. We're trying to work on that to have resources to help speed up the 12A work, because we know our citizens are feeling very discomforted by that effort. But there needs to be a place. Where's the place for the airport in our thinking? We had the airport summit, and where's the place? And where's the place like in some of our streets, like Crafts Avenue? We're going to be going out and having some conversation with residents of Crafts Avenue about the place. Respect for her historic character of place. So in another version of this approach in Virginia, one of the managers has taken a kind of a holistic approach in defining a vision for sustainability. And the holistic requires art and culture, citizen engagement and social capital. Economic development and healthy and active living, infrastructure, lifelong learning, land use, natural and environmental resources, neighborhoods, safe community, and transportation all merge into a vision there in Virginia, and this Lynchburg, Virginia, is working on this. This is a process. It's taking steps to engage the community, and the important thing is in define metrics, because you got to measure how far we're going. If we're going to have a sustainable Lebanon, we have to have metrics in what we do. And our work plans that are under development have been initially drafted during the last year as a first start, are now going to be looked upon during the summer and into the fall as we refine and define our work plans so that they reflect our outcome goals on our puzzle piece that we often show. Another city manager in Iowa talks about the cities need to get out in front on sustainability, because that will give us a competitive economic advantage in the future globally. And it's true, and the thinking among the city leadership and management across the land here in the United States is feeling that this will provide a framework that in which cities can develop and operate to have a balanced community. There's a lot of different types of tools being brought in play with this development, and I think we'll see some of them in Lebanon as we go, because sustainability will be in the form of economic sustainability, financial sustainability, social sustainability, and environmental sustainability, and that all fits nicely with where we're believing that we should go. The tools you might be seeing is, first of all, community engagement and involvement. Getting public input into sustainable community planning is essential. It's important because projects start competing against each other, so instead of cooperating and collaborating, sometimes we get into competition. So we need to develop that shared visioning. So there may be visioning sessions, more conversations, more summits, more conversations on streets like Crafts Avenue. We need to show and use tools of mapping, and we have a lot of great GIS mapping, because a picture is worth 1,000 words in trying to create a sustainable community. We need a 360-degree involvement of the community, and we're going to have a Citizen Academy this fall, because engaging the citizens as a whole, one city manager says, well, not just all the usual players, round up the usual players. It really needs to be all of us. There's 15,000 folks. We have people in this region that are coming into the Lebanon. We need to involve all the players, because it's going to take us all to climb the hill, because this is a pretty steep climb. These times that we live in are very stressful and are very difficult. And with this, I don't know whether we call it a great recession, it certainly is significant, the most significant that I've experienced in my lifetime. So we need to do that together. And we need to get to one success at a time, because success breeds success. New partnerships are essential. City partners with school district. Cities partner together with towns. Cities partner with counties. City partners with the private sector. City partners with nonprofits. These are essential parts of what we need to do. The advantages of tools are becoming more and more evident, and we'll look at things like social networking. You already see that I do a blog. You'll see things like that. You may see things like Twitter. I already do a Twitter, but you'll see other things in our work. Our website is extremely robust, and there's great opportunity there. And we're looking at applications that might be used for city information for citizens that can be used on smartphones or on iPads. So there's many things that might be in the offering for the type of tools we can be. We just want to leave a message here at the end, is that good governance can be sustainable. We need to all become educated about sustainability. We're going to have that Citizen Academy, like I said earlier. We need to provide orientation so everyone in the city is oriented to what we're facing here, and we need a high degree of visibility about sustainability, and we want to stay current. This particular whole magazine was devoted to it. You'll see us in the future devote much of our work to the heart of our outcome achievement, sustainability, so that we have concrete results on the ground that reflect and create a sustainable community. I appreciate your time today here in June. It's a great way to start the summer out. We'll be with you on the show during the summer, and we look forward to all of you having a great summer. And I will see you here later in June. And thank you very much for your time today. Best to you from the city of Lebanon.